Howdy, folks. Welcome to Game Club Podcast, a podcast dedicated to talking about video games. This week, I am always joined by a+start.
Hi.
And Beta64.
Well, hello there, sir.
And this week, we're going to be talking about Breath of the Wild.
Woohoo.
I know.
Hear that?
It's very windy
The sound
in the wild.
of the wild.
Beta's wild breath.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to have my wild breath out there.
So, let's get this conversation started. What did you guys
we're
think?
jumping right in. No jokes like last time, where it was like
Just
2
like the
minutes
game
worth of
itself,
jokes.
you just jump right into it.
That's true. We're gonna make this podcast just like the game. We're not gonna give any explanation, and you're just gonna have to figure it out for yourselves.
Yes.
So Breath of the Wild. I guess I'll start.
Go.
I guess I should explain what the game is if I need to. It's a game where you're Link and you gotta save Hyrule, so you're dropped off in the middle of the woods by your parents and you have to fend for yourself. And you're raised by wolves.
Wow. I feel like it's becoming a running theme that Beta just kind of completely misinforms the people.
I don't know what you're talking about, I swear.
That's a different synopsis. I mean, you were kind of close on that one. That was you know. The
I was
wolves
talking about
thing is
Twilight
not-
Princess.
Not even that gets wrong.
But it's basically a game where you're dropped off in the wild and you have to go fend for yourself, get food, get swords and armor and stuff, and you try to save Hyrule.
So
He was sleeping in a cave. He was in a cave.
Sorry.
Sleeping in the cave of
Sleeping in the Cave. That's a
Destiny.
good band name.
Sleeping in the cave.
So
Okay.
one thing I kind of want to talk about immediately is what did you guys think of the voice acting for this game?
I have an interesting thought on that one. Okay. So
Go on.
I didn't think it was terrible. It was definitely not good, but it wasn't terrible. The ones that I liked the most were, this is gonna be terrible. Bird Guy and Fish Boy.
You know what? Gravali. Okay, and Fish Boy. Okay, I'm
This
gonna
is
come
how
out
you
and say it.
enrage a
I
fan base.
haven't played this game for I don't know. It's got to be at least 3 months now. When it first came out, I was all over this game. I played it non-stop
Same.
for hours on end. I was so engrossed in this game. The minute I finished it, because the thing you got to know about Breath of the Wild, if you haven't played it, it's got a ton of side quests. This is a big game. There's a lot to do, and I just kind of. Yeah, once I was finished, I was kind of. Or once the game's story was finished, I was kind of done, and so I haven't returned to it since. So names are a little bit. I can remember Gravali because that was one of my favorite kind of. Every time you beat a temple, you get kind of like their power. The four guardians. What are they called? They've got like a special name. They're like four guardians, whatever.
You're asking us to remember names? I don't remember names normally.
Well,
who are
clearly
you guys?
none of
I don't know who you are.
But isn't it Mifa? Mifa.
Mifa's Grace. That one's the
Mifa's
girl.
Grace.
That was Fish
Gravali's
Girl.
Gale. Mifa's Grace.
Yeah.
The Goron
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Andy, you fell way off track.
This is way off
Sexy
topic.
lady girl.
But how was the voices?
Yeah, you're like,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What did you think of the voice acting? Beef
I
is
didn't like
Grace.
Zelda. I didn't like Zelda's voice.
Oh, yeah, Zelda's
no.
voice was terrible. Terrible. Yeah.
Will you go
Yeah.
and save Hyrule for me?
Wow, is that
don't-
her in the booth?
I do not need
she's
you
here.
to protect me.
I am strong in this one. Usually I just float around and wait for you to rescue me, but this time I don't know where this voice is going.
I don't know what you're doing anymore.
Hey, Hyrule's in flames right now. Oh, I really messed up this time.
There was a lot of British accents in this game too that I wasn't expecting.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not-
Thanks a lot, Europe.
This is the thing, right? Okay, obviously I'm British, so that
You
should
are?
be normal to me. Yeah, I know it's crazy, I know. But when I hear British accents in things where I'm used to hearing like American accents, it grinds on me a little bit. I'm not expecting. I have it with everything. It's not just Zelda, but whenever I hear characters that I perceive would have like American voices, Zelda just threw me off. I didn't like Zelda. I didn't like Mipha. I didn't like.
Well, here's the thing: if you're going to go for British accents, since they're all from the same place, why didn't you give them all British accents?
Exactly.
Why is like
That's kinda
half
threw
of the
me.
characters like, hello there, governor, you want a spot of tea?
No,
And then the
it's-
other
That was
people are like,
close.
hey there, how's it going?
Well,
It's like,
so I
Where
kind
are
of
they? What part of Texas are they from?
I actually have always, ever since fans have started doing like their own dubs of Zelda, I was kind of like on board with the British accent Zelda. It gives it a regal feeling to it, you know.
no, yeah. I can see that.
So like I kind
But-
of appreciate that, and I also appreciate that they went with different accents. I don't know. They picked the wrong voice for Zelda. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just very wimpy sounding, you know. And I just can't stand it every time she talks. Like it really should have been more.
Oh, wow.
It really should have been more regal than it was. Like they managed to get the accent right in my mind, but they got the wrong voice for it. And same thing with me. Like some of the voices are really strange, and I don't think it has much to do with the voice actors that they picked. I think it's more with the tone and the voice direction that they gave these actors. Because like Mipha sounds so weird, and I don't like it at all. And then like some other characters just have this like very anime-esque kind of direction with their voice acting.
Well, like Daruk and Gravali, they were very
Right.
anime. But I feel that fits this game and games
More.
in
It
general.
fits more than a British accent, I would say.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Here's
I
my
hate
thing.
Zelda.
My problem I have is whenever I see a voice actor in a game, hear a voice actor in a game, I want there to be emotion behind it. They are voice actors. They're not voice givers. They're supposed to be acting and talking like, Link, go grab your thing out of the packet.
Go grab
I
your
want
junk.
something that's like, no, I did not say that, you freaking dirty mind.
Derek laughed, so I assume that's
Well,
what it
here's
was.
Well, Derek, you can make him laugh at anything. You say, never mind. Anywho, the point is, I want them to not be like, Link, go grab this. I want to be, Link, you gotta go grab this. You gotta save Hyrule. There's only 100 years that have passed, and if 100 years more, I don't know if I can hold on. You gotta save me. Something like
I'm
that.
hungry.
I'm
been 100
really,
years.
really hungry.
Daruk ain't ate no rocks in a long time. He's so hungry.
That's the voice I was imagining him having from the whole time. Daruka ain't no rocks. I am hungry. Getting ready for some
Mama
home
hungry. You don't
cooking.
even know, child. This got really weird.
I'm not gonna
Anyway,
touch
so
that one.
Voices are just, kind of hit.
Voice
and miss.
acting's hard. I'll give them that. Voice acting is incredibly difficult. People don't
Do
seem to
you
realize
think-
that.
Do you think maybe they kind of it was a bit of a misstep them approaching voice acting in a Zelda game?
No, I don't.
Question.
No. There's something they need to keep doing, but they need to improve it.
What they need to do is they need to outreach to people that have done this in the past. They need to like, and they need to hire some people at Nintendo and give them a level of authority that I feel like Nintendo's not willing to give up. And that's why their voice acting in games are always really bad, is because they just will not, go to people that are more qualified for this. Like, and I hate to sound so harsh on Nintendo on this regard because I love Nintendo, but like, you play games like Mass Effect, and I don't want to just go straight to Mass Effect, but
Let's
Ratchet
go
and
straight
Clank,
to Mass Effect.
You just did, so yeah.
Ratchet
Too late.
Ratchet and Clank, and just other games where the game studios are either from Europe or America, and like they just know how to flow dialogue.
Before we go into that, let's just say we're listening to the American voice actors. We don't know how Japanese they did in
That is
Japan.
very good
So
point,
it might
actually.
not be Nintendo of Japan's fault. This might be Nintendo of America's fault.
Yeah, but either way, so whoever's doing these is just like.
But what I mean to say is, it can't be just because European studios or American studios have better voice acting, when it could literally just be Nintendo of America is the problem. Then again, I haven't heard the Japanese voice acting. It could be also terrible around the board. But as an American, it probably will sound okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, this conversation is getting really passionate. I do feel like the voice acting is the voice acting's not terrible. Like Metroid Other M, that was pretty terrible as far as voice acting goes. But this game, it's serviceable. I just feel
It's
like they,
tolerable.
yeah, I just feel like there's just a couple of things that like were a little distracting here and there.
To me,
like,
it's kind of like Super Mario Sunshine. Super Mario Sunshine, it wasn't very good, but it was at least tolerable to me.
Yeah.
ooh,
like,
I don't even know about that.
Really? I play
Yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine, and I hear those voices where it's like, you gotta clean up the goop. And I'm okay with it. I mean, I guess I'm used to it, though. I didn't really have standards back then. So...
I didn't mind it. It's not Sonic Adventure 2 bad. Or Sonic Adventure bad.
Well, those games had superb voice
those
acting.
didn't do well.
Or House of the Dead 2 bad.
Yeah.
You ever played House of the Dead 2? You
Yeah.
you know a bad voice acting gig when you've heard it. So yeah.
What are some good voice acting Nintendo games? Can you name one? Besides like Mario. Mario's a good voice actor. He basically what is it? Charles
Yeah,
Martinet,
but it's
he's
pretty
very
hard to
good.
screw up. Woohoo! And it's to me,
Well,
it's pretty hard to screw
He
that
does
up.
all the other voices in the game too. He does Waluigi, he does Wario, he does Luigi.
Yeah, I mean, how?
I guess
it ain't Shakespeare, is it? It's not, you know.
That's true.
Metroid
Okay.
Prime 3, I guess. Like, there's not much voice acting at all, but for what there is, it's not bad.
I think before we close on the voice acting thing,
I
I'm
thought
just
we were
gonna
ending
say,
the episode right there.
yeah, exactly.
Before we
I think-
close.
I think we'll say I don't go to Nintendo for my voice acting. Do you know what? I go to it for gameplay. Like when I was playing Breath of the Wild, there was never a point where I was like, "Man, that's just bad." The only qualms I have with it is just I didn't like Zelda's voice actor, and Mipha was a bit wimpy sounding. Everybody else was kind of serviceable. I think that's a good term that you throw in there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
But
Sounds
now
good.
that you mentioned gameplay, what do you guys think of the gameplay?
Oh yes,
Oh,
me loves.
you want to go first? Do you want to go first?
Who,
Which
me?
one?
I don't know, just someone else.
I'll go first. I really did enjoy the gameplay, and that was one of the reasons I just stuck with the game. I love the variety of things you're able to do from the get-go. You know what the biggest thing about it, and I think everybody who reviewed the game picked up on this, is how much Nintendo just let you do as you wanted to. They gave you kind of a little hint with the old man who turns out to be the king. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Wow.
It's been out 4 months or 5 months. You played it. Everybody played this. In fact, they sold more copies of this than they did the Switch.
Yeah,
which
let's,
makes no sense. So
hilarious.
everybody played it.
Let's try to avoid spoilers, though, for the rest, because this one's still fairly new.
Hey, did you also know that Zelda is... sorry. She's
Oh
chic.
goddamn! Why did you go there?
And that link is...
Oh, we don't
He's
talk
really a
about
girl.
that. What?
No, I love the fact that when you leave the cave at the beginning of the game, you're just able to go and do as you will, and you learn the mechanics on the go. There's no hand holding, which is so different from all the other Zelda games, and that was one of the things that was like brilliant. If I ever wanted to replay this, I don't have to go through that first half hour of a Zelda game. You'll know what I'm talking about when you have that. There's a tutorial kind of thing, and
you
it's just
still
like,
do with the Great Plateau.
yeah, but it's not as
It's not as terrible. It's more of a well, I guess I shouldn't say terrible. It was fine back then, but it's still like a hand-holding tutorial in a way. You don't realize it at first, but once you get off the Great Plateau and you realize just how big and expansive this world is, you're kind of like, wow, Great Plateau is really small, and I don't want to go back. I've never been back to Great Plateau. There's no point. So it's still kind of a tutorial-esque, but they
kind
did
of,
a good
but-
job.
I get
that
what you're
area
saying,
is huge though, so
Right. It's
No.
kind of like I wouldn't even say it's a tutorial area. It's just kind of like you're barred off from the entire map at one point, and the game just kind of like is like, this is what the game expects of you, and you do it. It's not like the other Zelda games where there's mundane tasks and like just droves of dialogue before you
Exactly.
even
Yeah.
pick up a sword. In this game, it's kind of like, hey, before we even talk to you yet, here's a sword, you know, or not a sword,
Yeah.
but like something to hit people
Tree
with.
branch. Here's a tree branch.
here's a twig.
Yeah.
Go save
Have-
Hyrule.
Have fun dying.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking of
I like the
which.
gameplay for the most part. Obviously, it's kind of got some of the open world game trappings, which is like, hey, repetitive tasks, you know, to serve a greater purpose, like, you know, climbing up towers and stuff like that. But Zelda Breath of the Wild does a really good job of making it different every single time, whereas equally popular open world games don't go for this amount of effort. Like Assassin's Creed, it's like, hey, climb a building so you can reveal some of the map. But like with Breath of the Wild, it's like, hey, every tower has a different obstacle and way of trying to get up the tower. Also, you know, you can use it as a warping point, also it reveals a part of the map, you know? So it's kind of like, wow, there's so much incentive here, and every time I do it, it's different. And I love that about Breath of the Wild. But in the same breath of the Wild, there are some things that I wish that they would have done to... I just wish there was still some more traditional Zelda stuff that they actually kept in this game.
It is a very different kind of Zelda game, which is
for sure.
part of the reason I kind of loved it and disliked it at the same time. But it wasn't a strong dislike. It was just like Zelda was getting kind of formulaic, obviously, and they felt like they needed to switch it up. And I liked what they brought to the table, but one of the things I didn't enjoy was the dungeons. The ideas of the dungeons were great, but how they looked visually was just too similar that, and I didn't really like what they looked like visually. There's not the typical like forest temple or the water.
Oh, you
temple
mean the shrines?
The shrines. That's it. Sorry. No. I mean the dungeons,
you mean
the main dungeons. That's what I mean.
The main big dungeons. Okay.
Yeah. I love the idea of those and how they're all like moving around the world, and they like these spirit animals or whatever. Dude, I'm so sketchy on the story.
Oh my gosh.
I am the spirit animal of the, you know.
Me face my spirit animal.
I'm a chameleon. Yeah, it was like, I love the idea of that and how the puzzle aspect of it was very clever. There was very clever dungeons. Just visually, though, they really should have mixed it up a bit.
I totally disagree. So, like, I didn't like...
Grab the popcorn.
Yeah, the one thing... So, it sounds like I'm just trashing this game, but I'm not. I really do love it. But the one thing I will not give this game any credit for is those dungeons. Like, they were so lazy, uninspired, and it doesn't do well with the explorative aspect of the game. Like, if you go back to the original Legend of Zelda that this game constantly gets compared to, one of the coolest things about it is that you can kind of randomly stumble upon one of the dungeons, and then the dungeon itself is so unique and interesting to go through. Now, people in the comments might be saying already, like, yeah, they use the same textures and, you know, all the dungeons. How is this any different from Breath of the Wild, where it uses kind of like the same dungeon walls and stuff? The big difference is that we're now in 2016 with this game, and tell me it wouldn't be astronomically better if you randomly stumbled upon the forest temple or randomly stumbled upon the water temple without any dialogue.
That would be pretty cool.
Or scripted events. I just feel like...
So what you're saying is you want Breath of the Wild to be even more open.
I want it to I want it to have... so it's open. But
you want it more open.
I think I know what you mean.
All right, go for it.
I think you mean to get to these main dungeons, there's a story element. You cannot just reach the dungeon of your own accord. You have to go through the means of the story. And once you have completed that section of story, one of the four guardians will kind of like take you there, and then you complete the dungeon, and that's the dungeon done. I think what you mean is you want to just be like wandering around in the world and like, hey, I can just climb this thing and I can just get in and do the dungeon without any of that nonsense. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Exactly. So like so the way this could work, right? And I'm kind of now building my own game, so I'll get off this subject really quick. But the way it could work is you could stumble upon the dungeon by chance, by random. And of course it's completely unique. It kind of has like the same similar themes that was in Ocarina of Time and all that stuff. So it's a unique dungeon. You could complete the whole dungeon without triggering a story sequence, get whatever item is inside that dungeon, and then when you happenstance to get to a certain part of the game where it's like, we need you to go to the water temple, they could be like, what? You already have this thing? That's incredible. You know, that's exactly what we needed. You know, just kind of alter the story just slightly so that there's still a narrative. You could still be guided to these temples if you wanted to, or if that's how you happen to go throughout your adventure. But it would be amazing if there was these fully realized dungeons that you could just happen to explore on your own.
Okay. So I get exactly what you're saying. You want the shrines, basically, but instead of... I guess this would be kind of to make the game better for you. You had all these shrines littered around, but you also had these big dungeons that are also hard to find. And you could go into them and get a special, unique item. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yeah, that's the only element that I feel is really missing from this game. That would just make it the best Zelda game of all time in my mind.
Because the shrines are so easy. They're so easy. It's just
but
more
they're cool.
of a... They are cool. I will admit. They're cool. But they're also very easy. The Legend of Zelda series has always been known of pushing the limits of your thoughts. And how you like, when there's like 5 floors and you have to go, okay, I gotta fall through this floor to go to here. I never experienced that in Breath of the Wild. I'm not saying that's a con or anything. It's just a note. I never experienced the thought-provoking, like, oh, how am I supposed to solve this puzzle? It's more like, okay, I need to go there and then move here and then, okay, I'll walk over here and boom, and I'm done. The end. Even the dungeons that are supposed to be like the big kind of picture, it was still kind of like, okay, I got to get to these 5 points, okay? Oh, there's a thing blocking my way. Well, I guess I'll go around. Oh, here's one. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, here I am. There was never any thoughts. The more the more puzzly aspect of this game was just surviving, really. There's no real puzzles that are, well, maybe I'm too smart. Maybe that's the problem.
I get the idea. Like, I feel the same way about the main dungeons as I do the shrines. I did think they were clever, but again, the visceral side of it and just how they looked was kind of dull to me. And once, and especially when you get to the point where there are some of these shrines that are literally just beat the robot and that's it. And there's like a ton of those, and it just they were literally like, I can see that you wanted to pad this game out a little bit to boast that you had like, how many shrines is it? Like 120? There's a lot, right?
It's over 100.
Over 100. But that doesn't mean anything if like 20 of them beat the robot, kind of beat the little mini guardian things or whatever they were. I can't remember. I feel like I don't care about this game. This is the thing. I really did love the game, but I completely agree with what you were saying, Derek, about how you want to just stumble upon these things because that was the nature of the game that they were selling. Like, go out into the world, explore. You don't know what you'll find. It would have been so cool. You know what? Now you said it, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I'm starting to see it too.
I would have loved to have stumbled upon something like a forest temple from like in the same vein that they had in Ocarina. It would have been cool to have found that in the wild.
I was gonna say you get a small smeckle of this if you happen to if you happen to stumble upon the Lost Forest out of sequence.
Yeah, and I did.
Yes.
I did do that. And that was the coolest part of the game. I just stumbled in the forest. I'm like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to try to solve this. And I did, very unconventionally, by the way. But I did, and it was so freaking just, it felt
right?
so good.
So imagine if the game is littered with that.
No, see, this is exactly what I think. This is a good way to say it. Breath of the Wild has you exploring, but you know what you're going to expect. That's the kind of thing. You're exploring the world, but you know what you're going to find. You're going to find a shrine somewhere. You're going to find an enemy camp somewhere. You're going to find a stable somewhere. You're going to find a cool rock formation. The only thing that ever got me like, whoa, was the forest and the maze.
Yeah.
I won't kind of reveal about that because, I don't know, it might be considered a spoiler. But those are the only 2 things I was like, oh crap, this is so cool. There was one point, and it was a disappointment for me, Tingle Island or something like that. And I was like, holy crap, Tingle's gonna be over there. This is gonna be so freaking cool. Oh man, so I'm riding on my horse. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to see Tingle. I'm gonna see him. It's gonna be great. I fly to the island. I'm looking around. There was nothing on that island besides like rocks.
Disappointed. I was so disappointed.
Oh my, I expected a rock with his face on it or something.
Just anything.
Yeah. Anything.
I was expecting Tingle. Who wouldn't expect Tingle? It's called Tingle Island.
Yeah, but that's the exact thing you were saying. You're going into the world, you're hoping to find something unexpected, and really, you find what you expect.
Well, that was one instance where I expected Tingle, and I did not get... I'm not even like one of those Tingle fanboys, but like I was just like... I was at this point in the game where I was like, I really want to see some new stuff. So like... anything, even Tingle himself would have been exciting to see, but there was no Tingle.
Where's Tingle?
There was no Tingle. 6 out of 10.
I need his little elf ears. I need them in my face. Maybe not that close.
Anyways,
Tingly, Caillou, pop.
Oh, nice. I always say it as. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I always impersonate him as pudding pop.
Oh, God. I feel like we're bashing this game, so let's give some highlights. What are some good points?
I love now to go back to something you said a moment ago. I'm just going to add my 2 cents to it. I loved the shrines, and I realized that had we gone with my suggestion, it probably would have hurt the appeal of the shrines.
If you gone, no,
it would have hurt. It would have hurt the effectiveness of the shrines. See, like the shrines, you can either look at it one or two ways. Either you want like a completely different game and whatever, that's not what Breath of the Wild is, so shut up, she says. Or or you look at it for what it is, and it's an open world game, and how well does it do it on that merit? When you compare it to other games, how well does it do? And I love the shrines as an open world element. The fact that there's 120 shrines and that it's kind of repetitive and how it looks and everything, that's kind of like an open world game trope. But for the way that Breath of the Wild does it, is incredibly effective. It's like every time I go into one of these shrines, you'll occasionally have to fight a monster, but those are really tough monsters, and you kind of get like a sigh of relief that that's the only thing you have to do to get the goodies inside. But like the puzzles themselves, I found to be not too frustrating and unique every single time I went into one of these 120 shrines, so it just never felt repetitive to me outside of just how it looks. But it was kind of like I was like, okay, so the shrines are made by one particular race, so it makes a lot of sense for all their walls to look the same. So like I believed in it, and the puzzles themselves were varied enough that I felt motivated to actually go to all these shrines. There's so many rewards too for doing it.
I agree completely with you. Shrines good. What else is good? Climbing.
Well, before we move straight on from the shrines and what you're saying about how it makes sense that they would all look similar. What I will praise this game for is the world building. They really like, you do feel like you are in this world. There's no break of immersion in that sense, and it's a big world to go out and explore. So
they did a very good job. They did an amazing job. And moving back to climbing the whole world is about the greatest thing to ever exist in a Zelda game. Climbing, that was my thing when I played it, because I played this at E3. My favorite thing was just the fact of, and this got me so excited. I literally was just like, oh look, there's a wall, jump, and I just grabbed it and just started climbing. And I was like, oh man! Ah!
That's a good reaction to have, really.
That was me. No, but the fact is, that is the greatest point of this game, and it kind of sounds really weird, but the greatest part of Breath of the Wild is the fact that you can climb anything. You can climb a building. You can do whatever you want.
Except when it's raining.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like,
okay.
We're gonna
Way
go back
to bring
into
it down, Debbie Downer.
I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just the rain was like, what is up with the rain? Like, I was like, okay, the rain's really frustrating. I can't wait till I get some equipment to bypass this rain, and it never came. It was
they should have
done
something.
I was like,
that's
wow.
a good idea.
I was like, I'm really just out of luck here when the rain comes down. Like, it's so bizarre. It was actually one of the first tweets I made about the game, which was like, the rain is the single greatest enemy in the Zelda history.
Is the true final boss is the rain.
Right, because there's no way to defeat it. It's literally you just have to sit there and wait, or sleep through it with a bonfire, and like.
and then only to wake up the next morning, it's still raining.
Yep.
But
good times.
It's like I love the climbing. I love it. But it's what were they thinking with the rain? I don't understand. Like
I get it. They wanted to simulate a real world, and it rains, but it rains. Sometimes it feels like it rains more than it's sunny. You know.
Yeah.
And maybe it should have. Did it snow in like the mountainy areas? I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, it snows.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
No, and then there's like extreme fog in the mountains.
The lightning.
The lightning awesome.
was a clever move.
That was a good idea.
How much you brick it when you're like you got a sword and a shield and everything's metal and then you feel that sparks. How many did you like ever not know about that, and then you're running through and you're like, oh, I died suddenly, and then you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was like,
everybody
oh,
had that
metal.
moment.
Yeah. That was a good time. There were so many good first moments. There were a lot of good those.
The lightning very much reminded me of drowning in Sonic 2. You know, I could almost hear the music creeping in. Like,
Like,
gotta find shelter! Gotta find shelter! No! So much anxiety.
Yeah, good
I
time.
just thought about it now, and I'm like, yeah.
You know what would have been cool? Building shelters.
That would have been cool.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like, let's say you're just sitting there and it's raining something, and you could get like cold from the rain. See, I feel like they did a very good job with the whole game and how Link's in it, but I feel like it could have been more immersive. If you were like running in the rain, your clothes start getting wet and you start getting cold, so you have to build a shelter and a fire to get warm again while it keeps raining.
I don't remember. Could you just, if it was raining, could you just build a fire just out in an open field with the rain? Could you do that? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you couldn't.
It's you can and you can't. It's like the rain can put out the fire, but I think if you have enough fire, it can survive in the rain. So yeah.
They should have made that just like a legit, like, no, if it's raining, you won't be able to build a fire. You need to build a shelter. I like that idea. They should have put that in.
There's a lot of different things that I feel like. See, some people look at Breath of the Wild and they're like, it can't get better than this. But I look at Breath of the Wild and I think there's so many improvements you can make to this formula that could just astronomically make another 10 out of 10 Zelda game.
Yeah.
If they could take Breath of the Wild and add in things like I'm turning into Minecraft now, but like building shelters or building locations, you could like create your own camps and stuff, and then you can throw spawn points at it, so that way you can like teleport back to your camp.
Yeah.
You could cut down trees to build wood, to get wood, to be able to build a house.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I agree with you.
idea.
I agree
Not
with you.
only that, you could also throw The Sims in there, where it's like you have to go take a poop.
Okay.
Or something like that.
I don't want to ever see Link pooping. Okay.
Taking a dump in a field. Yeah, great.
But our hero, everybody.
I had so many great ideas, and I end on that one. Great. Everybody poops. There's a book about it.
I mean, he eats.
Where does it all go? Where does it go?
What is he?
The questions, the big questions.
What's the thing I'm going for here? Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, stink of the poo.
Wow.
Wow, middle school humor coming out right now.
Anyways, I'll give my synopsis early. I will just say that I'll add to what you just said here and just say that it's not the best Zelda game ever. It's the start of something even greater. I think that there's so many elements that are from the original Legend of Zelda that could be incorporated into this, and it's why the original Legend of Zelda is still my favorite. I know that people are like, you don't even need to go back to the original Legend of Zelda. This one does everything that does, but better. No, unfortunately, it just does. It's close, but it's not quite there. And I feel like if we just build upon this, what's the word? Not platform. You just build upon
Pedestal?
No.
Build upon the basis.
Yes, the base.
There you go.
If you build upon this base of what Breath of the Wild started, we could get the best Zelda game of all time. But the criticisms, well, not even criticisms, just suggestions on what people would like to see, I think will make it that. But you know what? I feel like I'm in the wrong here because so many people on the internet already praise this as the best Zelda game of all time.
See, it might be the best Zelda game right now, maybe. But it's not for the future. I believe the future holds a better Zelda game than even Breath of the Wild. I have faith in the future. And my thing is, we have a problem though. This game took like 6 years to make. Okay? So, and they had like 300 plus people working on this game. How long is it going to take to get another Zelda game done with?
I don't know. I think they would have learned a lot from making this game. Development was a long, arduous process.
They could use the same engine. Yeah, they could have. They could use the same engine. They could just add in a bunch of stuff. It's like every other sequel in this world. It's just built upon the exact same thing with a little improvement.
Yeah.
But I feel like Breath of the Wild deserves that. I think Breath of the Wild deserves a sequel. And you know what else I want? More people. I want the world to feel more alive.
I had this idea that it was going to be like that once I got off the Great Plateau, because you run into people right at the get-go, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's like there's just people walking around the field, and then like a couple hours in, you're like, oh, that was just that one person.
Yeah,
See, this is the thing.
Every time.
This is something I mentioned. I think I even tweeted about this when it was E3. They were showing off the game, and they explicitly said, "Oh yeah, we're not showing off too much of the world because there's a story context and things." And my reaction to it was, "Yeah, this looks cool, obviously, but this just seems like a lot of running around big." Empty open spaces, and people are like, nah, they're gonna fill it with things, and they didn't. There's a lot to see in Breath of the Wild, but there is a lot of big just empty open spaces, which is cool. I mean, I want to see more population, I guess. It makes sense in the context of the story, I guess. There's a lot of ruins and things, and which makes perfect sense. Okay, that's not my gripe. I kind of called it for me when I saw the early footage of things. I was like, yeah, it's just running around in big, empty, open spaces. I hope they do more with this.
Now, can you imagine Breath of the Wild, but not in a dystopian world, but like full of people, where it's like you go into towns and there's like hundreds of people just walking around and talking, and there's a huge open area, right? With Hyrule Field, but it's basically Ocarina of Time without any borders and expanded. Could you imagine that?
Yeah. I like it.
That
I'm
is
not
the
remaking
future
it, though.
I want. Yeah.
Don't-
How would
don't
you
go down
remake
that
that
path.
one, Andy?
I'm not doing that one.
Here's a screenshot that Andy made. No.
Yeah, it's right here. Look,
No,
it's
don't
spinning
get up.
around.
Good luck, buddy.
But no,
Every time.
I think the thing about what you were saying about the reviews and people holding this game in high regard and saying, is the best Zelda ever. I think what the best Zelda is really counts on what the next one is. Because we've heard this about every single Zelda. Like, inevitably a series
true.
will grow and become better over time. If it doesn't, then you're probably something like, I don't know, what was that?
Sonic.
Well, okay, there's a different story. Well, but yeah, there is definitely that regenerate. That's not even the word I want to go for. Like
Reboot?
degenerate kind of this thing where things go backwards. There is that with Sonic, but Zelda kind of goes in a direction. I definitely hope the next one that they do make does build on the base of this.
I don't think we
what
can
they
go
already
back.
No.
Do you think we can go back to the old way?
No, I think what they will do now is a hybrid of what we already have, because it's. I don't know if I said this earlier. I forget about the shrines. It's funny to me, or strange to me, that in a game where they were trying to break conventions and make the game less linear, I guess, they inevitably kind of came upon the fact that, there is a system to this game. You find shrines and you get to dungeons. It's still that kind of thing. I don't ever think they can stray too far away from the formula, and that's a good thing because people like these games for a reason. What I hope they do is build on what they already have, which the amount of tools they give you in this game, we haven't even touched upon like the way physics work in this game and how you can use things to your advantage, and just the way you can take down enemies and that kind of thing. We haven't seen that in any other Zelda game. But what this Zelda game is missing is that kind of like how we've already mentioned. It would be great to just explore the world and stumble upon these dungeons for ourselves, but have them in the same vein as we've seen in the past, where things are themed. I like the themes of the old games. The forest, the fire, the water, the desert kind of. I like those themes. I kind of miss them here, and that was one of my gripes with the dungeons and how they played out. So yeah, I need to take a breath. God damn.
That was wild. Take a breath.
That was a breath. That was a wild breath. Oh, keep bringing it back.
Yeah, like to build upon what I already mentioned is things that I would improve. Other things here and there that I feel like would just make this game even better in a sequel is obviously a lot of people didn't like the swords breaking, but a lot of people forgave it because it allowed you to use a variety of swords.
True.
Duh. But the way I feel like it could work is still allow that element where you can you can basically pick up any sword or things you want to find out of a chest. But here's one thing I feel like you should be able to do is have the traditional sword that never breaks, right? And then have an inventory of one slot for stuff you find in the wild. Now, I know that it's kind of cool to be able to make a collection of like swords that you found throughout the world of Hyrule, but I feel like the thing that is the hardest thing about it is just people don't like the idea that what they collect breaks. I feel like if you could carry one sword or one weapon, and you could like store it in a house or something like that and come back for it later, but you can only carry one, I don't know. I feel like that would make it. What am I saying? I don't even know what
I think I know what you're saying. Or a good idea based off of what you just said was, okay, so everybody's going to have their favorite sword. Wouldn't it be cool if you had a resting place that you could just leave it there and it recharges? On the flip side, you have perhaps another sword that is like infinite ammo. You can never break this sword, but it's not quite as strong as the ones that you can break. I think that's. I think they already kind of did. They do that with this one? I don't know.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
But we can't go into it because the spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's an idea. What if when the sword breaks, you can keep its remains, and then you could go to a town and fix it?
Yeah.
See, they incorporated that kind of with
But
the
if
trident.
you broke, then it's okay. Yeah, that's true. But like, what about being able to buy a potion that you can put onto a sword that makes it invincible or invulnerable for a period of time?
I mean, they could do a variety of different.
Ooh,
Yeah,
well,
there's a
how about
variety
this,
of
you guys? How about this? There's like a hidden dungeon somewhere in the world, right? And the prize at the end of the dungeon is, like Beta just said, a potion that allows you to make one weapon indestructible.
For the entire game, there's only one potion of its kind.
That would
Yeah.
call back to how it is with the original Legend of Zelda, where you can choose either between like a potion or a heart piece, and that heart piece is so invaluable, right? But you only get it once. If you go back to that cave, it's just black, and you can never collect a heart piece from there ever again. That element was such a good feeling when you found a heart piece in the original Legend of Zelda. If there was a dungeon that was just dedicated to incredibly important items like a potion that made your weapon invulnerable, that would be huge, and I think people would really appreciate that. And it also balances the game to make sure that you can't do this like in mass. Like, you can't just buy that potion from a shop and just keep like 124 weapons,
Until they find like item duplication glitches.
Yeah.
People go nuts with that.
Yep.
It'll happen.
Well, if you make it a key item, then you can't do that.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Nintendo needs to just watch this episode.
We got all the ideas. Damn it, we're gonna make our own Breath of the Wild.
Dude, that's it. Andy, you're gonna make the models.
No,
I'll do the coding.
no.
She says does all the voice
God.
acting.
All right, here we go. There was something in there. We mentioned about hearts and things like that. Something they brought back from Skyward Sword was the stamina thing, and I just want to know how you guys felt about the. You have this trade-off where you can, for every shrine that you complete, you get an orb. An orb, and you can trade those in after you have 4, and you can get either a heart piece or an addition to your stamina. And I just wanted to know what you guys felt about that. If you liked that system, or if you weren't really interested. Or
I liked it. I wish I could actually find heart pieces in the wild.
yeah,
There's a lot of things I'd like to have found in the wild. I like the fact that I could do, because I did basically stamina the whole time. I was like, okay, I got to keep my stamina up. And I like the stamina meter. It's good. When you upgrade it, you feel really cool, because like the secret island I'm not going to mention, where you have to literally jump off a ledge and fly to it, and it takes like a good 2 minutes to fly to it. And when I just fell just short and I upgraded my stamina meter, it was so rewarding just to be like right on the edge and get on there. It was so rewarding.
There's
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to say the stamina meter is a good way to limit the player, but also it gives you a sense of more freedom as you keep upgrading and upgrading it. I never felt so much restricted by it as I felt like the game got easier as I made it. That being said, I wish I didn't have to be a terrible wimp and not have any hearts for to get that bonus. I wish you could find heart pieces in the wild. You could collect them and get hearts that way, so you can keep getting hearts, and then you can use your little orbs to either get more hearts or get stamina. Because I know you can get a heart piece if you like complete a dungeon, but there's only like 4.
Yeah. So this was the developers' way of hearkening back to the original game. Like I said, in the original game, you get a choice between a health potion or a heart piece, and inexperienced players would maybe, and I did as a little kid, and I got chastised by my friend, might pick the potion because it seems like the immediate thing to do. Like, I'm low on health.
Are you calling me an inexperienced child?
Well, I'm sorry, Beta.
Not in so many words.
Yeah.
Because you'd be right.
Anyways, Breath of the Wild does it in the same way, only on an even grander scale. If you upgrade the stamina, you're picking the wrong one, because what you can do to what you can do to exploit stamina is just stock up on stamina health foods. And like you can use that while you're flying or while you're climbing, so you don't need to upgrade your stamina at all. Meanwhile,
But in the same way, you could get extra hearts by sleeping in inns and buying food.
but that's incredibly temporary, and also hearts just deplete way too quickly in this game.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this
You're
game is
right.
hard.
It is a very difficult game.
It is very difficult.
So it's I feel like the developers were kind of harkening back to the right choice versus the wrong choice. And
Wow. I picked stamina for like the first 10 times, and you're just like, only an idiot would pick that. And I'm like,
No,
okay.
no, but I wouldn't even, because I mean I was an idiot with the potions back in the day, but
You're still calling me an idiot?
no, but like I'm just saying that like the developers are trying to make it a teaching experience. They're not, there is a
Well,
correct.
I've learned something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've learned that I was an inexperienced child. But today, I become a man.
Now you're a man.
Who picks
A man in man.
hearts.
Let's
always
quickly
go with the
talk about
hearts.
something that was very limited in this game compared to other Zelda games, and that would be music.
Yeah, I was just thinking you'd say that. Music is fantastic in this game, though. What
It's
is
very
there?
sporadic, but
Yeah, it's very sporadic, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like this minimalistic kind of sound to it. And it's just, I wish that there was like riding a horse where it's like, in all the Legend of Zelda games, you're running through Hyrule Field and it's like this upbeat. You're like, oh man, I'm going for adventure. You get a Majora Mask, it's like it's like mysterious and weird, but also upbeat. You're in Wind Waker and you're flying through the ocean and you're like, oh man, the sense of adventure. And you're in Breath of the Wild, you hear creak, creak.
Yeah.
It was just like these very moody kind of piano.
Which I loved it, but I never felt like that huge like this is adventure, except for like the beginning of the game with that opening cutscene, where it was like
that when I first saw that you get out of the cave, Link runs to like the cliff edge, and that you get that massive sweep of like, this is where you're going now. You can go anywhere here, and the music kind of swells. I was like, this is amazing. This is the exact experience I wanted. But then musically, the game kind of lives or dies on its, the uses that it has in the game. It is very kind of like, here's a little riff on a piano kind of thing, and it's very minimal. There's not even any kind of like, one of the most famous things that Zelda games have done in the past is literally have a theme for everything. Every character has a theme, every temple has a theme, every like everywhere has a theme. This game just doesn't do that. But the music that is played in like the towns, notably, I don't remember any of the town names. Oh god.
Kokiri? No, that's not it.
No,
Yeah,
that was
Kariko.
one of my least favorites actually.
Really?
The pieces of music that I really love is wherever the hell Gravali lives, in the kind of with all the bird people. The music there is phenomenal. They got that
That's
beautiful kind of
a
what is it
remake of
called?
it. It's Dragon Roost Islands theme, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it has
Really?
that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They kind of incorporate these motifs from other games, and I thought that was beautifully done. But that track and one of the main towns that you kind of I think
the
it's
one
one of
with
the
Impa?
first. Yes.
That
Yes.
town, I forget what it's called.
Those two pieces of music used for those towns specifically are just some of the most incredible. I love the fact that they went full orchestra with this one.
So,
Dude.
so I'm gonna have a lot of haters for this episode. I think a lot of people watching are gonna hate
What's he
me.
gonna say?
But I hate the music in this game. It is.
Okay, we're done. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone.
Well, there it goes.
I hate it so much. Like, first
What was
of all,
it you hated?
I hate when I play a video game. One of my least favorite things that a composer can do is create an ambiance track over a melodic track.
Oh, okay, okay. Wow, we have a disagreement in the house. Excuse me.
I think ambiance is the worst thing. It's the laziest thing.
Wow, there's something called setting a mood, she says, and sometimes my game doesn't have any music in it. Are you gonna start pissing all over my game? No.
What game is it? Minesweeper?
No.
Well,
Anyways,
I'm just joking with you, but
okay.
but seriously though,
No, but,
seriously
like,
though, I
yeah.
do like environment music. Not so much. I don't like the fact where it's just all bird chirping and that's it.
No,
but I do
no.
like the fact of when it's like it sets a mood. A mood is so important in a video game. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I was
listen.
trying to be nice here.
Melody-driven themes can also set a mood, and it can also be stuck in your head for days. And that's the only difference between a melody-driven track and an ambiance track, is that an ambiance track can set the mood, but a melodic track can set the mood and be memorable. you know?
okay. What about the okay, one of the tracks I haven't even mentioned, which is another favorite I completely forgot, is when you get to Ganon's or the Hyrule Castle. That theme, come on, that is. How can you not love that? It's got that marching kind of like it's 5/8 time signature. It's a weird sounding thing, and it's just like
I love
that's
weird
a punk
sounding
theme, and it mixes in the Ganon theme. And
Not
it's
to
just
mention the freaking trailer music where it was
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that
dude.
weird whistle
Alright,
thing. Oh, I played that for days.
So, guys-
Nintendo, please, you need to release that track just by itself. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go there.
So guys,
It's beautiful.
yes, I agree. The trailer music was phenomenal, and
Yes.
that's what got me so hyped for the game. That track is
I
not
got
in the
goosebumps.
game whatsoever.
No,
It
well,
isn't. That should have been the boss theme.
I feel like it was
Yeah.
somewhere.
Holy damn!
Oh,
that
I
would've
was
been
talking
good.
about the ambient
sorry,
one.
like,
Sorry,
like-
the ambient one with the whistle in it. That was like
No.
E3 2015.
No.
Okay,
out of here with
okay.
the whistle.
All of you are wrong, and I'm the only one who's right.
And I hate
Hashtag Team Beta 64.
and I hate the music that plays when you have an enemy encounter, because it sounds like there's like a walkie-talkie going on and off in the track.
What about the Guardian music though? You know when you hear
That's
those
awful,
little,
too. It's-
no, when you hear that.
I love that sound.
You know you're gonna
It's-
go.
Oh, you're
Again,
gonna die.
so
When
that-
I first heard that, I freaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
it's so creepy but it's
It-
so cool.
It is creepy. It does. Okay, so I'm gonna backpedal just a little bit.
Oh, I'm ready with my pitchforks.
The Guardian music works on the same level that the underwater music does for Sonic 2. You know, it's the
Yeah,
same idea.
yeah.
But again, we're talking about a franchise that has made incredibly catchy music over the course of all of its games. And that particular theme, while it does what it's supposed to do, which is be creepy and impose anxiety,
Setting a mood.
right? But they could have done that while also having a really good track.
What did you want? It's like
So
No,
like,
They should have just had the trailer.
listen,
Whenever you encounter Guardians, you should hear the trailer music, the newer
yeah,
trailer.
there you go.
That would have been cool. How epic! Damn, that would have been so epic.
Like how
Wow.
about every time like Link jumps off the horse and does the slow motion shooting the arrow thing, that should trigger the theme that goes ba ba ba. Ba, 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 ba. You know that
That
part?
would've been quite cool,
That would have been
yeah.
awesome. But
I think I know, yeah. Like there are some really good pieces of music in here, but I did miss as well these big themes, like going out into Hyrule Field and this, but being like, you know,
there was
how it was in
nothing
previous
bombastic
games.
in this one.
No,
There was, but like again, the trailer gives it's like bombastic, it's epic, and I'm like, all right, let's hear it. But like it, I was like, I'm waiting for that theme, and I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be at the last boss, and it wasn't even at the last boss. I was like, what is going on here?
Okay. I see where
you
this is
put
going.
me in two minds about this now.
You have to. You freaking. Your little she says worm has gone right in my ear and starting to affect my mind.
Wiggle, wiggle.
What? But okay, I want a mixture of both. Atmospheric music is incredible in the right context. If you are in like this really dark, damp cave, which by the way, they should have had caves. Just putting that out there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But well, they had like one, maybe, I don't know. But the point is when you go into a dark, damp cave, I just want to hear drip.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Maybe
fine.
a little piano. Something like that. But when I'm exploring Hyrule, yes, I want to have that huge, bombastic,
The thing is, like, this is a very purposeful move on Nintendo's part. Like, Koji Kondo was nowhere to be seen on this, as I believe. I could be wrong, but it was somebody completely different.
Because that man's a genius, and this music was not.
Wow.
Okay.
And
it's just because it's not
heavily.
memorable. I will say this: you just don't like it because it's not memorable, and that's totally fine. I don't look at the Breath of the Wild soundtrack and go, "Man, I love that song." I don't, because it's all atmospheric music. You just need to learn to respect it. You don't have to like it; just respect.
Can I tell you one game that does both and does it incredibly well?
Yeah, sure.
Super Metroid. Super Metroid has a lot of ambiotic tracks that are like they're for short segments. And then when you're like going around most of the game, you get these really melodic tracks that stick with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, the composers of these games, I found them. We got Manaka Kataoka, and he's done previously Wii Fit.
Oh.
And he did Super Smash Brothers for Wii U.
There were some catchy themes in Wii Fit. He should have put those to the table.
The other one did Super Mario 3D World and Mario Kart 8.
So this was a very purposeful thing.
It wasn't that they weren't good at what they do.
It's just that they didn't feel the need. This is the thing, and we've mentioned this before. This Breath of the Wild is a very different beast from previous Zelda games. It's for whatever reason, I guess on the backs of like Skyward Sword and maybe Twilight Princess, fans were kind of like, this is all just the same. I remember reading reviews about Skyward Sword and just being like, it's very formulaic, isn't it? And it's like, I can see how they would want to get away from it. But yeah, I miss the themes as well. Like,
I miss the memorable music too.
Yeah. So we all love music. Good.
Yes, we all love
we all
music.
like music.
Okay.
At least we can come together
I respect
there.
your decisions, she says. I respect it.
Likewise, man.
I'm half and half.
It's all about opinions.
Yeah.
Hey, what a great way to end it. Am I right?
Are we done?
Dude, we're like 55 minutes in.
Yeah, we yeah.
Jeez, I feel like we barely talked about the game though.
Because the game is so
there's
big.
A lot to talk about. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. Maybe if you guys want it, we can reconvene.
We can reconvene with the part 2 sometime.
Yeah, that's if you guys want it. Let us know in the comments. If you're done and you've played the game, you have your own thoughts, whatever.
Yeah, leave those too, though. I want to hear your thoughts.
So wait, before we do finish off, let's in conclusion. I'm going to say I really, really love the game. Strangely enough, I haven't gone back to it, and I don't really feel the need to. But while I played it, it was definitely an experience and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. It was hard as balls, but I liked it. It was good. Good game. Well done.
Okay.
Well done, Nintendo.
My opinion, it was very, 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 very well done. Art-wise, it's an incredibly artistic game with a lot of good choices and how the environment looks, how it sounds. Heck, there's I think it was well over 100 sound effects. It was like specifically for walking on water, walking on ice, walking on sand, walking on grass, walking on mud. They did so much work to make this game look and feel just incredibly lifelike, and I think it's incredible in every way. There's some gripes, there's some things that I'm like, that could be a little better, or this could be an improvement, but that's the thing. This is a step on a journey. This is not the end of Legend of Zelda. This is just the beginning of a new era of The Legend of Zelda. And I'm excited to see where it goes. And I will also say, I have not come back to this game since I played it a while ago because I don't have the time. That's the only reason. I literally do not have the time. That's the only reason. It's not that I'm bored of it. It's just that it takes a lot of time because it sucks you into the world because it's
that's very
good.
true. Yeah.
It's too good. Mm-hmm. There you go.
It's a huge step in the right direction, and of course, I don't expect a pioneer of a new direction for Zelda to be perfect right off the bat. That's why there were so many things I had to say about what I would like to see in the future. But as far as what it is, I feel like it's a humongous step in the right direction after something like Skyward Sword. It just plays so much better. It's so much more fun, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Is it fun? And yes, it's incredibly fun, and it's incredibly inventive.
Yeah. Praise the Lord.
I love how inventive this game is, and I just hope that if we stick with the formula for the next game, there's just a couple of things that they add here and there, and I will be so ecstatic about it. Also, one thing I did not mention at all, and I'll just throw it in here really quick. I'd love to see a callback art style to the original game. Not 8-bit, but I mean, like, look at the artwork that they used for the original game and make that a base. Because Ocarina of Time was cool, but I'm ready to see something different.
Andy.
No, I'm not doing it. No. Can't make me.
No, just pull up a picture of the original Link with the sword facing the screen. That was used on the original box art in Japan.
There you go.
It's a good one.
We want that game. This one.
We want that. Nintendo, please watch this video. Well,
swish,
I guess
swish,
you would have
twang,
already.
twang. That's what we want. We want that game.
Yes, we want swish, swish, twang, twang.
Yep, that's how it went.
That's how it went. Man, I miss those days. The days of the swish, swish, and the twang, twang. All right, I feel like we've reached the end. Are we going to tell them what the next game is?
Do we even know what the next game is?
Well, the poll's not up yet, so
okay.
What game did we decide on?
Shadow of the Colossus.
That's right.
That's the one.
That's the one. The PS2 version specifically, if we can all get that version, or PS3. We'll figure it out by the time we get there.
Yeah.
Cheer. Cheer.
I've never played this game before in my life.
Me neither.
I literally have no idea what it even is. I've just heard it. I assume it's like The Last Guardian. I assume. Maybe.
Well, really, is it?
I thought it was from the same series.
Same studio, yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm excited to see what it's all about.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
Cool. You wanna give us the little beautiful outro you give us every time?
She says you're gonna give it every time.
Thanks for watching, folks. if you want, you can follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are right here on the screen. And you can also follow our individual channels in the video description down below. If you don't like listening to us on YouTube, which why wouldn't you? I won't judge. You can listen to us on
judge.
SoundCloud, iTunes, and
that's
Google
right.
Play. So leave it, watch it, listen, whatever you want. And
Think about it. You could be working at McDonald's flipping a hamburger and listening to us talk at the same time. Isn't that just a dream come true?
I don't think they allow that. I don't. That's health and safety.
Well,
don't make them do that.
Okay.
Flipping a burger and then you burn your face and you're like,
do
it's
it."
okay. I'm listening to my favorite podcast. I'm dying. Yeah, that could happen.
That's just pretty morbid.
Yeah.
thanks for
So
listening,
guys, thanks. Okay, I guess is that it? We've kind of plugged everything.
On that
Oh,
note.
did we? We've all done a video on Breath of the Wild. You haven't done a video on Breath of the Wild, have you? She says.
No.
Okay, well, here's a video. You should watch this Son of Glitch
our
video.
videos on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, we don't care about this third guy. I don't know who he is. But if you watch Son of a Glitch video on Breath of the Wild, here's that. Boom!
Hi.
Click that video link in the description. And then you got my video on the development of Breath of the Wild video right here. Boom! Bing! There it is. And I guess... Is that it, everyone? I kind of hijacked the outro. I'm sorry, she says. You take it home.
We just need to do everything we just did, but more. Just give it.
Like Breath of the Wild.
Like Breath of the Wild. Hey, good closer.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Yeah.
Peace out.
Peach.
That's
That's gonna be a
too
thing.
well. Yeah.
That's a thing.
I like how you both thought to say peach.
We're all gonna say peach from now on. That's the way it
That's it.
goes.
Uh-huh.